If you ask my kids what I do at work, and they don't say something silly, if they say what I tell them to say, and let's face it, they probably won't, but if they do, they'll say, "Daddy helps people who help people." That sounds really nice, but it doesn't say very much, does it? You see, it's hard to explain my job, even to grown-ups. But let me give it a try with you. It is my profound privilege, my bountiful blessing, my righteous role and responsibility to spend my work life with leaders. Not just any leaders, mind you. These leaders lead charities. Some people don't call them leaders. They have other names for them. Names that try to define, describe, and distinguish. Names that must to clarify and qualify. They call them do-gooders, with a cute, indulgent tone. And I guess that's okay, because these people do good, a lot of good, and they do good very well. They call them charity workers, like it's a pretend thing. And I guess that's okay. Because the Greek word for charity means selfless love. And these people work love, and love work. And their love works. Then there are those who sit confidently in big chairs, run their fingers over $80 haircuts, and with the arrogance of a man who knows one tiny bit of information and thinks he knows it all, sit with smug self-satisfaction and call these people overhead. Overhead? What's your organizational overhead rate? I want all of my money doing something, not going to overhead. Any overhead cost above 18% is too high. What are you doing to reduce overhead? Overhead? In over your head. You mean overhead like recruiting, training, and motivating ordinary people to be transformed into that most incredible species of superhuman called a volunteer? You mean overhead, like stretching the mind and the soul and the patience of loved ones to study the best practices, best programs, and best people this world has to offer so they can get that much more out of every donation? You mean overhead, like fighting traffic while trying to eat a drive-through breakfast, solving another crisis on the Bluetooth, and listening to essential updates from an iPhone 3 so they can sit in your office or living room, remember the names of your kids, pets, and companies, and praise your generosity for taking one less exotic vacation so you can pat them on the head, give them a check, and question them about overhead? Please, watch your language. Like I'm watching mine. Please understand that when you say overhead, you are talking about people. People who have made the often heroic decision to accept less, give more, and get it all. People who understand that they aren't understood. People who take your gifts and magically turn them into full stomachs, educated minds, inspired hearts, healthy bodies, loving families, safer streets, and a future that's just a little bit brighter than today. People who would never dare to sit in judgment on your contribution to a desperate world and dismiss it as overhead.